Hi friends, how are you? So I just decided to make a little video kind of update to sort of chronicle what I'm doing for myself and also to share with you some of the little bit I've gotten done since my last video that offered the tour inside the house. Okay, just a second, I'll turn you around. First, I'll just give you a little glimpse of what's going on in my garden because it's kind of fun. This geranium is about to explode. It was an old one that I cut back quite a bit and took a lot of cuttings off of, and I've gotten water. Some kind of a lily is going to be bursting forth here. It was already in that pot when I got here. This is like a mint that I pulled up out of the dirt and stuck in there. Here's my tomato is in bloom. I've got another tomato over here. There's a third tomato plant through there. I put a little straw down that I found in the barn. And then I also have, I'm not sure, I think that one over the yellow blooming one is a squash, and I think this one may be a pumpkin. I didn't mark them. I thought it was kind of fun to wait and see who's who. These are rugs that I've had out hanging on the fence. And they were really quite dusty and stuff. So rather than going through the tedious work of washing them, I've just left them out hanging on the fence through a couple rains, and they're quite nice now. And so I folded them up. Here's my big concrete sink, if you haven't seen that before, where I do my outdoor washing. These tubs I'm able to buy in town for like about $1 a piece, and they come with lids. And I don't like to get new plastic, so I really avoid that. But these are recycled ones, and so those are going to help me pack some things away and just help me feel organized. I'll put glassware and craft things in them. Going to use them for my organizing. There's my clematis and my amazing climbing rose. So it's upstairs that I'm tackling right now. These are rugs that I've pulled out that are just like been layered on the floor up here. This is the ladder that I pulled out that was the attic access. So this floor had lots of rugs on it, and then underneath the rugs was some old just sheets of linoleum, kind of hodgepodge that were kind of nasty. So I took all that out, and I'm just going to sweep this down, and I may seal this, like patch up the concrete a little bit. I figured out what kind of sealant I can use that you buy in town. I was talking to a neighbor about it, and then I might just put a rug back down on it, paint it and put a rug. I'm going to keep it really simple. Here's the window that goes out the front, and this is the view out into the neighborhood. Again, this is Bulgaria. Okay, so here is the bedroom I shared was my favorite bedroom. Not a whole lot's happened in here since I videoed the other day, but I'm starting to get a vision of how I'd like to rearrange it. This piece on the floor is a heavy metal thing, but it's movable. That's where you would set your wood burning stove on. And that hole in the ceiling there leads out to the chimney pipe. So I've got some thoughts about that. There's an old chair there. A rather nice bed. If guests come, this will be the bed that you're on. This is how they do their mattresses. It's different than us. They're just kind of like thick cotton pads like this that sit on top of sort of this springy thing. And that's what the bedding is like. This bed I'm probably going to disassemble and put it in storage, and the other building out there. And then this is that piece of furniture I showed earlier. So I've made a little bit of progress in this room. This room, it was hard for you to see it all. It was so dark the other day. It's the creepy room that I showed you. I'm just cleaning it out. There's this big old wardrobe. I'm taking the things out of the wardrobe and reorganizing the wardrobe. And I think I measured it. I think I can turn it the other way and put it back over there and kind of open this up and have straight access to it. And then the attic is up in that hole, and put the ladder back in place and put a light in here so it's not so creepy. We're considering maybe someday looking into what it would take to plumb that room and maybe make an upstairs bath out of it. It's a possibility. I don't know what traditionally they would have used spaces like that for, other than, just general storage. And this room's the one that's been a bit overwhelming because it has so many articles of clothing and stuff. So that's just still a mountain of stuff to go through. These are various linens and things that I've gotten organized on this bed, and then the wardrobes. Put all the coats over on that side. Here's some other items that I've gotten organized. I found a donation project, someone that a friend is helping, a lady who's quite impoverished, and a friend of mine is taking her on as a love project, so I'm going to support her and donate some things to that. And the floor's just got kind of like this vinyl on it, and probably on top of the same kind of rough, dusty concrete as the other one. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that yet. But this room will have 3 beds in here for volunteers or guests, however we decide to do that. I found out that this wooden table that was hiding under stuff is really quite a nice wooden table, and it has a couple leaves, so it stretches open into a really good sized table. So that's a nice thing to have. And then there's this little cabinet that I didn't show before. It's got some little treasures hiding in there. This part is locked, and I still haven't gone through the keys yet to see if there's a key that fits it and see if there's what might be hiding under there. Don't know who this kid is, but he's cute. There's just those treasures and this is and that. Oh, one thing I found the other day that I thought was pretty fun. I'll show you. I've got more coats than anybody can imagine for when it gets cold. But this big old fluffy aquamarine coat especially tickled my fancy. There's a lot of soft ones and ones that have fluffy hoods. And then these shoes up here were shoes that fit me really well. Rumpy stompy boots. So I pulled a couple pair out that I might wear. And then after, a year or so, if I don't wear them, I'll pass them forward. An umbrella. Okay. That's about it. There's another little overhead view of the garden and my pretty rose. Yeah, and more rugs than you could ever imagine needing, but I'm glad to have them. I'm sure I'll think of purposes for them along the way. Okay, friends, so that's all for now on this episode of Living Like Rhonda and Ryan in Bulgaria, and glad to have you along. Love you, miss you. Ciao.